All right, integrated one, we are going to go ahead and do number two. Since I modeled number one on the board, I'm going to go ahead and do number two for you. I have done number three as well, so make sure you check the videos for that as also. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and start by color coding my equations. The first one's going to be blue, which means the x-intercept right here is blue, the y-intercept is blue. The second equation is going to be green, and we're going to make sure we have that down making sense. Okay. So now we are finding points. Whenever we're finding all our points, we ignore the gator mouth. I'm going to say that over and over. When we're finding points, we ignore the gator mouth. So let's start by finding the x-intercept and the y-intercept. The x-intercept right here, it's clear that the y value is 0. Remember our points. We have x comma y for our points, right? And if I'm saying, hey, check it out, and one of my points I have a 0, that's in the y position. So y equals 0. So to solve for the x-intercept, you have to put y equals to 0. And again, ignore the gator mouth for solving points. So the first equation, I'm plugging in 0. I don't like my 0 on that side, so I'm going to switch it to the other side. And now I'm going to solve for x. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. That's no big deal. And I get negative x equals 2. Now there's an invisible 1 right here, so that says negative 1 times x. You're going to divide that out. And you get x equals negative 2. So for our x-intercept, we have negative 2. I'm going to clean this work up, and then we're going to go ahead and move on and find the y-intercept now. So the y-intercept is going to say, check it out, x is equal to 0. X is equal to 0. So we're going to ignore our gator mouse because we're solving for points, and we're going to plug this in. What did I do? Y equals negative x minus 2. What does my x equal? It equals 0 from here. So y equals negative times 0 is just 0, so it goes away, and you're left with minus 2. So we end up with a y-intercept of minus 2 right here. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the next equation, and I'm going to switch colors, but first I'm going to clean up my work. So there's my work being gone, and now I'm switching to green, moving to the second equation, doing the same thing. Again, we're finding points, so we are ignoring our gator mouth. So this says y is equal to 0. So I have 0 equals 3x plus 6. I don't like my 0 on that side, and I'm going to put it over here. So then I'm going to subtract 6 on both sides. I have 3x equals negative 6. I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides, and I have x equals negative 2. So when it's all said and done, my x-intercept is negative 2. I'm going to go ahead and erase my work. And I'm going to go ahead and move to the y-intercepts now. The y-intercept, it says that the x is equal to 0. It says the x is equal to 0. Remember, ignore your gator mouth when solving for points. It says the x is equal to 0, so I'm going to substitute that in. And then I end up with y equals 3 times 0 is 0, which just leaves positive 6 left over. So I know that my answer is positive 6 right there. So I'm going to go ahead and erase my work as well here. And then I'm going to go ahead and move to the solution. The solution, I'm going to use red. How does this work? Check it out. I have to decide, am I going to use substitution or am I going to use elimination? Which one am I going to use? Substitution or elimination? Which one? I'm going to check. Elimination or substitution, if I have a single y or a single x by itself, that's the one I want to use. In this case, I have 2 single y's. I'm going to use substitution. So how do I use it? It says y is equal to this stuff right here, but I have another y right here. I'm going to substitute this in. So watch what I start with. I have negative x minus 2, and remember, ignore the gator mouth whenever we're solving for points. So check it out. I'm using my second equation. I have y, but what am I going to substitute in? I'm going to substitute in negative x minus 2 equals 3x plus 2. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for the x. So I'm going to subtract the x on both sides. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4x. I'm going to bring down the 2. This is all canceled out on this side, and I have my 6 right here. I'm going to put my plus 2 on both sides, and I'm going to bring this down. Negative 4x equals 8. This says negative 4 times x, You're going to divide by -4 on both sides. You're going to divide by -4 on both sides, and you get x equals -2. So when it was all said and done, I found for my solution that x equals -2, which is kind of great. So now what I want to do is I'm going to erase everything. I'm going to erase everything, and I'm going to go ahead and plug this in for any equation I want to. Now, I found my x is equal to -2, so I'm going to go ahead and use the top. I'll use the bottom equation. Y equals 3. Again, ignore the gator math when solving for points. My x is equal to -2. And now I have y equals 3 times -2 is -6. I'm going to bring down my +6, and I have y equals 0. So when it's all said and done, this is what I have. I have my y equals 0. Now, since I made a mistake on the last video during graphing, I'm going to push stop on this video. This is all of our points for number 2, and then I'm going to do a second video that has our graphing on this part.